17 years ago when I walked in through these doors, I never would have imagined that People's Church would be such an amazing place for me and for my family. And I started coming because a friend of mine invited me, and people were super welcoming, like really welcoming. And if I can be completely honest, you know, a lot of the times that I would come to People's Church, I was high. I'm just being honest. And people could tell, right? My eyes were glazed over. I reeked of marijuana, but people still, knowing all that, embraced me. At the time, I had a lot of stuff happening in my life, and I didn't really have any clear goals or clear vision. I had no idea where I was going. I came from a family that was broken, and my parents split up when I was young, and so I was pulled in 100 different directions. And fast forward to January 14th, 2006, again after having come to church for about a year. I remember standing in the pew. It literally felt like I was being tugged at my shirt, like God was pulling at my shirt. It was actually right over here, right behind me at the altar, off to the right of the stage there, that I decided to raise my hands up. It's a moment that I'll never forget. It's a moment that, you know, is gonna be with me for the rest of my life, obviously. But in that moment, the trajectory for my life completely changed. People's Church gave me a chance. They gave me a shot, and after I accepted Jesus, they began to disciple me in many different ways. And I'll never forget, the first job I had at the church was being the janitor. I did that for a couple years, and then I decided to go to school, and they took me on as a co-op student. Well, here I am now today, you know, the youth pastor, and it's pretty crazy to think that I'm in the position that I'm in today. I can think of many people, many families who took time to disciple me and invest into my life in so many different ways. People's Church literally is about the people, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you've done, whatever unworthiness you might be facing. People's Church is a place for everybody. And the ability to be able to invest into students the way that I was invested into, because I never had a youth group growing up. I never had a church like this to go to, a safe place to land in when life was going crazy, right? And so to be able to provide that for students, it's a gift. It's amazing. Over the years, People's Church has definitely become a family to me, the people within it. And now that I have kids of my own, 3 amazing daughters, it's amazing to see them being poured into and invested into the way I was, but at a much younger age. I didn't have that growing up, and so being able to provide that for them now, it's a blessing. And having the ability to have a role now, all these years later, to do the exact same thing for somebody else, for the next generation, for my kids and the generation after that, it's exciting, and I would encourage you to get involved if you're not involved. I'm looking forward to the future of People's Church. I'm looking forward to the blessing that we're going to be to our community. I'm looking forward to the work that God is going to do in everybody else that's going to walk in through these front doors.